What it is, folks, it's your homeboy First, back again with another episode of the realest, most entertaining show in the game. Put it on something. Make sure y'all watch all segments of episode 175 of Put It On Something. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share, put all your people on it. Feel free to also join the channel. Um, Y'all know, I know Jack State University just played a football game. We defeated Mississippi Valley State, and I usually start with that. I know many of you are ready for me to strike up the motherfucking band. I'm aware of that. And I'm going to do that because that's my job. It's my job. It's my job to entertain y'all. I know that. But I also say I want to entertain, educate, and inspire you too. Okay, I want to educate and inspire you too. But I know I got to entertain, so I'm gonna do all of that. Okay, I got a full show for you. Okay, and I got to do that even when I'm not happy, and I'm not happy right now. I'm not. I'm not happy about what's going on internationally. I'm not happy about what's going on domestically, here locally. I'm not. And when I think about what happened to the young brother, Jaylen Burns, that fuels a lot of the unhappiness. Because I've been in this situation with having um, former students killed. So, like the Queen, one of the real ones who follows me on Twitter, I follow her as well. And she's a viewer. She talked about losing one of her students, how heartbroken she was. I know that pain. So even though I know y'all come here for me to talk about uh, Jackson State football, Mississippi politics, my media critiques, um, and whatever the hell else I choose to talk about. Y'all come for that. I can't do a show without addressing this. And no, I didn't make a big post or anything about it after it transpired. I don't like to talk about shit before I gather information about something. And now I have heard what allegedly transpired. I'm not going to get into all that here. One, because again, what I've heard is, even though I trust it, it's still hearsay. But also, I'm sure the family members don't want to get into all that and shit like that. Not saying the family watches my shit, but I'm just saying you never know. But I will tell you where my mind went. I will do that. Because this shit took me so many different places. Okay. One of the places it took me, the first place it took me actually, was to a song that I wrote in the past and released many years ago called The Shooter and the Victim. The Shooter and the Victim. The song was inspired by a murder that occurred in my hometown of Canton, Mississippi. It was a situation in which uh, one of my best friends, got murdered by somebody we went to school with. And so that was the whole thing behind the song, that I knew the shooter and the victim. And the chorus went, I knew the shooter and the victim and the shooter. It's sad when you know them both and you can't choose a loser. See one life gone and the other gets life. I'm hoping that no other crazy shit goes down tonight. I knew the shooter and the victim and the shooter. It's sad when you know them both and you can't choose a loser. See one life gone and the other gets life. I'm hoping that no other crazy shit go down tonight. I knew the shooter and the victim. See, as more and more shit has come out about this incident, at least based on media reports, one of the individuals that was apprehended was also a college student. So now we got two promising black men whose lives are over. One going to a grave, another one going to the penitentiary. Mm. So then I get to thinking about how the young king was innocent. This ain't got shit to do with him. This ain't his beef. And that makes me think about my young boy. One of my beloved youngins, Demarius Rocket. I talked about him on my program before he played ball for me. I taught him at William Sullivan High School. One of the greatest personalities of any kid I ever taught and coached. Born to play basketball, really. 6'4", jump out the gym, run like the wind. Everybody don't make it though. And he's gone now. And he ain't bother anybody. And I know that's what many people are saying about Brother Burns. They calling him a leader and saying he wasn't involved in no type of shit like that. Mm. So then how my mind works, that takes me to these wars that our country is currently funding. And how in general, when it comes to war, civilians are ultimately the primary casualties. And see, that's part of the reason why I just put that banner down there. I just simply made the banner say violence. Cause see, we got this fucked up ass relationship with violence. You feel me? Like we drop bombs and do drone strikes and all this other shit on motherfuckers around the world, and innocent men, women, and children get killed. And they tell us that it weighs hard on our presidents and on those who, may drop the bombs and everything. Like they tell us that. But we keep fucking doing it. We keep doing it. And I think to myself, like, damn, so this shooter didn't kill the innocent person. And motherfuckers gonna view him as an animal. Motherfuckers gonna want him to get the needle. And then I think about with the shit we do around the world, and our leaders get they don't get any penalty. They don't get any penalty. Like the shit around violence is crazy, man. That's how my mind works, y'all. I look at the micro, I look at the macro, and my mind works like that. Then my mind went to the violence in our culture as a whole, the violence that's in our music. And shit, I'm a rapper. I'm a rapper. I'm a rapper. And I love rap music. Okay? I consider it the greatest art form ever. What the geniuses in rap have done is unmatched in my opinion. The poetry, the similes, the metaphors, okay? All the shit and taking that shit and wrapping it around a beat. Seamlessly, amazing. Some of the themes, goddamn. Rap fans will be lying to ourselves if we say that some of the themes are not harmful to impressionable people. I think about a song like Watch My Shoes. Again, I'm from Mississippi. So this is a very popular song where I'm from, particularly when I was back in college. Some of y'all fellow OGs out there, y'all know about that record. Now for my triple OGs, y'all might not know that record. But long story short, the hook says, do what you do, but watch my shoes. Dan with your boo, but watch my shoes. You can get loose, but watch my shoe. Cause you'll get blue if you don't watch my shoe. That shit seems harmless if you don't know what the fuck the man talking about. When that motherfucker say you'll get blues if you don't watch my shoes, he basically saying you step on my shoes, I'm finna do something to you. Violence. Senseless. That's senseless. And we listen to this shit, we vibe to it, you know what I'm talking about? But some of us don't separate entertainment from real shit. And some of us get conditioned to this is how I'm supposed to react. If this moment ever occurs, this is how I'm supposed to react. And I ain't just picking on that song. There's plenty of songs out here that say some of the dumbest shit about violence. And I ain't talking about self-defense. That's different. Because if y'all listen to some of my records, I'm going to talk about self-defense, and I'm going to defend myself. I'm going to defend myself by any means I have available to me. If whether my pistol is near me, whether my shotgun is near me, whether my AR-15 is near me, if my knives are with me, or if just the goddamn fists are with me, I'm gonna defend myself by any means available to me. That's self-defense. I'm talking about senseless, dumbass, bullshit ass violence. What the fuck are we doing? Type violence, and that shit is there. See, like we got a whole genre now. What, drill music? Drill music. They did the whole fucking genre about music. What, to kill motherfuckers too? And I know it's more complex than just that, because a lot of this shit come from somebody does something to somebody you love. And the natural reaction is to go do something back to them. That's what our country does, doesn't it? Al Qaeda hit us up 9/11, killed 3,000 people. Fucking tragedy. Fuck Al Qaeda. Fuck Bin Laden. You know what I'm talking about? But we killed way more than 3,000 people, Jack. We went over there and took over 2 countries. You understand? We went 8 behind that. So it's like our country, our government, they gonna get back. That's what the motherfuckers in Israel doing right now. Hamas attacked them. You know what I'm saying? And shit, they've been going ape since. So it's like the governments get to get their lick back and shit, but then individuals get called animals and monsters and all that kind of shit. But see, our children have to understand this system and learn that they can't fucking do what the government does and what the military do. It got to be conflict resolution. They can't do that shit. But I think the music and the movies and the gaming and all that kind of shit that's influencing these youngers out here, they thinking they can just go grab a strap and retaliate when something goes on, and like that shit gonna be legal, and it's not legal. You're not gonna be able to do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. And I'm not saying this to be judgmental of youngins and shit like that. I've been there. I've been in situations where something happened to somebody I love, and I want to go grab a strap and murk something. One time in particular, thankfully, I had an OG calm me the fuck down when I was ready to go ride and do some dumb shit. Cause that ain't how that shit work for us civilians. You can't do that shit. And often when you do, as Biggie said, and somebody got to die. The first song on Life After Death. He talked about a guy, he say, you missed the, and I'm quoting him here, you missed the nigga you want and murder innocent kids. And then if you keep listening to the song, brilliant artwork by Biggie. He says that, and at the end of the song, he, as the shooter, ends up doing exactly that. Trying to kill an adversary, and the adversary turns around. The adversary is holding his little girl, and he kills the little girl. See, we listen to that shit, and we don't get the message, the brilliant message behind it. And that brother got taken out by the gun. It's like this shit just surrounds us, man, and then we become numb to it. It's all on the internet. All these fights and shit go viral on the internet. I don't like to watch that shit. My youngest used to try to show me that shit in the classroom. I don't want to see that shit. I don't want to see that shit. If I want to see somebody fight, I go watch boxing. Go watch boxing. We got two grown ass men in there. The getting paid. They made this decision to come fight. They don't even dislike each other. They don't even dislike. They don't have no animosity against for each other. Most of the fights I watch, talking about it's a sport. These cats getting there. They got on gloves. They got doctors at the ring and everything like that. Shit sanctioned. It's controlled violence. Controlled violence. But motherfuckers got a whole nother genre out here of just wild shit on this internet. Where everybody recording these fights and this shit going viral, and we so desensitized to murders happening on Facebook Live, and motherfuckers are desensitized to. One of my former students got murdered on Facebook Live within the last year or so. And we just move on like that shit just normal. This shit ain't normal, man. This shit ain't normal. But it's so ubiquitous that we make it seem like this shit's normal, bro. I mentioned briefly the movies. It's all these motherfuckers in Hollywood know if you put some violence in the movies, shit, that bitch gonna sell better. They know it. But then again, you got some of these folks that are impressionable, but they can't separate the entertainment from the real life. The gamers, they know. The motherfuckers that make Call of Duty, the motherfuckers that make GTA, Grand Theft Auto, they know the more violence you have in it, the better that shit gonna sell. But again, they like, hey, it's not my job to raise your fucking kids. And they're right. They are right. It's not their job to raise our fucking children. It's ours. And we got to do a much better job of this shit. If you ain't ready for a job, which is raising a human being and instilling morals in a human being, you need to think twice before you bust that nut. You need to think twice before you let them bust off in you. Because there's drastic consequences that come with this shit, man. With our kids not growing up with respect for one another when they're in these relationships. When they're in these relationships, they got to have respect for one another. You understand? So that's one of the things. Motherfuckers like to skip over that shit when it comes to all this domestic violence and shit that be going on, and the men and women getting to fight. Motherfuckers just skip over that shit. Just the fact that, hey, where's the respect for this person? How the fuck you go from calling yourself so in love with me to now you want to hit on me. Now I'm a bitch and I'm a this and I'm a that. Well, I'm a bitch or I'm a bitch ass nigga and I'm all this. Shit, I was just fucking the shit out of you last month. Now I'm that. Where's the respect? We ain't rooting these relationships in respect. And even when you respect each other, you still gotta have some fucking strategies for when shit go left. Cause one thing about it, and I used to tell my youngest this now, men and women are conditioned differently in this motherfucker. You're socially conditioned differently from the motherfucking time that you come out your mama, your ass conditioned differently. One of you put in blue, the other one put in pink. One of you, they say, don't pick him up, you're gonna spoil that boy. You're gonna make him soft, you're gonna make him a punk. The other one, they pick you up and say, "Oh, baby, hey, you my little poo poo, you so cute," and all that type of shit. One motherfucker grow up listening to this gangster rap shit. The other motherfucker grow up listening to R&B music, at least back in the day. But nowadays, one motherfucker will grow up listening to goddamn the male rappers talking about popping these pills and the emo and shit, and these girl rappers up here talking about stripper rap. You know what I'm talking about? You socialize differently though. You're getting different messages. So then when you're presented with these challenges within your relationship, god damn it, you don't know how to handle that shit. And since that's the case, you need to have some kind of strategy for the conflict resolution. So when the shit hit the fan, your ass just need to leave. Get the fuck up and leave. Get the fuck up and leave. I ain't telling you something I heard. I'm telling you something that, goddamn it, I use. I'm telling you something I use. Shit. I've been married 15 motherfucking years. Motherfuckers don't be looking at my shit and be thinking that everything just like a goddamn fairy tale and shit. I'm a real ass motherfucker. Y'all see that. I keep telling y'all I'm the realest. Okay? I ain't finna steer y'all wrong. I ain't finna sit up here and cap y'all. This shit hard. It's hard. And I love my bride, passionately love my bride. But see, that's where that passion come in. That passion can go both ways. When you passionately love a motherfucker, hell, that person can make you feel like you in heaven. That person can also make your ass feel like you in hell. And when you love that deep like that, your ass better have some kind of conflict resolution strategy in place. So I've had to use the strategy I just recommended, which is leave. I remember one night, man, my little boot thing had an argument. Shit, I just got up and fucking left and went to the school I was teaching at. Went in there, went to the gym, plugged up the shooting machine, and was in there. I was in there getting up shots when one of my colleagues, the girls basketball team head coach, came up in that damn thing, and she said, "Coach, what's going on?" I said, "Coach, just trying to stay out of jail." She said, "I understand that." And that was it. You gotta have strategies. Shit gonna happen. You gotta learn how to deal with and avoid shit, man. And it's on us, the OGs out here, to be instilling that in our youngest. That shit is on us. Now, if they go astray after that, which is possible, because see, one thing about parenting, we gotta stop kidding ourselves about something. These motherfuckers ain't no goddamn puppets, and we ain't no puppeteers. It ain't like we have these kids and then we can just goddamn control them via string and shit like that. No, it ain't like that. Or that we got our hands up their ass and we controlling all their actions. This shit ain't Sesame Street, Jack. At some point, these motherfuckers, or at least the game plan is, at some point, these motherfuckers leave your household and they go out on their own. They gotta make these decisions on their own. At some point, I don't give a fuck how much you beat their ass. At some point, they get to an age where they ain't just gonna be taking no ass whoopings from you no more. You ain't gonna just be able to scare their ass with violence to make them do what you want them to do. So there's a chance they still may go astray, but all we can do is do our fucking best with instilling respect for others in them, respect for life in them, and conflict resolution strategies in them. We got to do this. We got to do this. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard. I'm speaking as a person who I am slow to anger, contrary to what some may say about me. Yes, I cuss. And yes, y'all see me on here, and when I'm angry, I go off and shit like that. But the shit that I be angry about on here, I'm supposed to be angry because I care. I care. But in my day-to-day life and shit like that, I am slow to anger in terms of, okay, something happened. Okay, I try to, all right now, all right, whatever. But once I'm there, it's hard to move me off of that. Once I'm there. So I'm telling you what I know. I remember a motherfucker disrespected me one time. I went down back to Hattiesburg to kick it with some of my partners. We had already graduated, shit like that. I'm married and everything. Went back down there to kick it with some partners. We were supposed to be going to the club. I make it to the apartment. A motherfucker who wasn't really in our clique, but an associate or somebody else, I guess. I don't know, a friend of one of the other partners. He opened the door and looked at me like this and shit. And so I hit him with the same shit. And then I just walk on past him. I walked in, had a bottle of Hennessy with me. I put my Hennessy down. He turned to somebody. He said, "Y'all know this nigga?" Then they said, "Yeah, man. That's woo." He looks back at me and said, "Oh, okay. You better be glad or else." And so now look. So I already let him make it. I walked through the door. Boom. I wouldn't put my Hennessy down and let him make it. I let him make it when he looked over there and asked him, do you know this nigga? But then when he looks over there to me and say, "Well, you better be glad," I blacked out. I blacked out. And I said, "Who the fuck you think you talking to, nigga?" So yeah, when I get mad now, I use that word then. Yeah, I don't give a fuck what I say at that point. I blacked out. I don't even know what he said after that. Because I'm furious at that point. I walked back outside, went to my car, and I got my wife's 380. See, this was at a time where the government was fucking with me, and they weren't letting me legally purchase a firearm. Come to find out years later, that it's probably due to my ties to one of my OGs who has ties to the Black Panther Party. That's a whole nother story. Okay. But now, I've squared that up. I went through the proper thing to, make sure I can legally purchase firearms. At any rate, I went to the car to get the firearm. I say all that to say, looking back, it's probably a good thing that was going on at that moment. Cause like now today, like my pistol would have been on me. I can go to one of my brother's house and I'm gonna have my damn pistol on me. But in that instance, my wife's 380 was in the car. I went back to the car and got the 380. I wasn't intending to shoot the man, but I wanted to have it on me in case something went left. Uh, Looking back, I can say thankfully, my partners didn't let me back in the apartment. And honestly, now I gotta say I gotta be thankful about that. I was furious about that at the time because I'm like, this the motherfucker who being disrespectful, and y'all ain't letting me back in there. What the fuck we doing, dog? Like I'm the homie. I'm the homie. What the fuck? What the fuck are we doing? He's the hothead. He's the motherfucker up here acting a damn fool, and y'all won't let me go back up in the crib that I always kick it at. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, fuck it. Let's just give me my Hennessy. I'm gonna go back to my hotel room. Fuck my wife. But looking back, that's a good thing. Get that happen. Who knows? If I go back in that apartment, the cuz keep talking shit, maybe he got a pistol on him himself. Who knows? I don't know. But when motherfuckers get mad, bro, they are mad. When cats are mad, they are mad. I heard some gangster say that. I think he's Big U, or the big gangster from out there in California and shit like that. I think he was on a Vlad TV interview, and he was talking about all the shit that he did in the past growing up versus now when cats be doing shit. And Vlad was basically trying to say to him, well, it's crazy that cats are doing this shit now because you got surveillance everywhere, really, on these street corners and all these stores and parking lots and all these places. And the cat Big U was like, man, when somebody mad, they mad. So they don't give a fuck about all that shit. If they mad, they mad. And they got a lot of truth to it. When somebody's fucking mad, they are mad. So we have to figure out as a culture, as a people, how do we prevent that? How do we stop folks from getting to that point where they're so mad, where they don't give a shit about consequences? They don't give a shit about taking human life. They don't give a shit about the possibility that they may lose their life. How do we stop that? I'm going to tell you again, respect. Instilling respect in our children. Respect for themselves, respect for their fellow man and woman. Because like that situation I'm talking about, that shit should not have happened. Cuz, if Cuz don't disrespect me, that shit just would have been a movie that night with me and the homies kicking it. Instead, that shit turned into something that really fucked up my relationship with the whole side of my clique. Because of a lack of respect. You feel me? We got to do that. And then when it comes to the next part, the conflict resolution. Let's say it has already gone left. Well, we got to go through the proper channels to handle that. I can give you another instance. Okay. Y'all may remember this when Tom Brady was still with the Patriots. Peyton Manning was with the Broncos, if I'm not mistaken. And they were finna match up in the playoffs. And I was anticipating this shit. This shit was finna be crazy. Right when the game getting ready to come on, I get a call that my grandmama's house was on fire. Now my grandmama had already passed. Long live my granny. My grandmama had already passed. But my niece and my nephew were living there. Okay. So her great grandkids, two of her great grandkids were living there. And I rushed over there and it was just fucked up. Okay. But my mama, being the strong woman she is, she did what she had to do to really get my grandmama's house rebuilt. But in the meantime, I guess, folks knew we wasn't up in there. So one of my nephews, or a couple of my nephews' so-called friends, they broke into the damn house and stole a bunch of shit. Now, somebody who I had paid some money to work on the house, to do some electrical work, I get a call from him. And he says he was coming out of a store and that somebody was trying to sell him some shit that was out of my grandmama's house. And he knew it was out of the house because he had been working in the house. I guess they didn't know he had been working in the house. So he called me and he told me where they were. So now, conflict resolution. What do I do? My neighborhood teaches me, and rap music teaches me, and gangster movies, which I love, teaches me, or teach me, I should say, to grab my strap. I got plenty of guns by now, okay, because that little legal issue has been taken care of. So I can just take my selection grab one of them or numerous of them, go up there and either shoot this motherfucker from for stealing from me, or up the strap on him and make him take me to my shit, to my family shit. That's what all that shit teaches me. Don't fuck the police is what it teaches me. Don't get them involved. Go handle that shit yourself. We don't need no police, okay? My education teaches me, and conflict resolution teaches me to, hey man, go let them motherfucking police do their job, dog. They get paid to do this shit, dog. And if the motherfucker has some smoke, they legally can get violent with this son bitch, and they gonna be good. So what do? I took my ass to the police station, told them what was going on, drove them right over there to the location, pointed out the motherfucker. They apprehended him. He took them straight to where the stuff was and was snitching like a motherfucker. See, if I had done with my hood and with gangster rap music and what the movies taught me to do, either I'd be in prison right now, or if they were strapped up, I'd be dead. If they bust off first. Even though they had wronged me first by stealing out of my grandmama's house. See what I'm saying? They wronged me, but in this society, I don't get to just go be a vigilante and do nothing to them because of that. Again, our government does shit like that. Let a foreign country steal from the United States of America. Let's say a foreign country uh, apprehends one of our ships on the high seas and steals some top-notch technology. Well, our government gonna fuck them up. Our government gonna fuck them up. Our government be telling these motherfuckers. It was a viral clip where some big time general or something in the military was like, if you do something in the United States, somebody else will raise your children. That shit went viral and people like, yeah. And again, the way my mind works, I'm like, hold on, cousin, what the fuck? But if I go kill a motherfucker for harming my sister, I'm going to prison. I used to try to get my youngest to understand this. They didn't like this. Hell, I don't like it. I'll be miles and miles away working, teaching, you know what I'm talking about? And I would say to them, look, y'all, if my wife and daughter at the house right now, my wife and children at the house right now. This is before my kids went to school. My wife and kids at the house. If somebody broke into my house and raped my wife and killed my wife and children, and if the police don't apprehend them, I find out who did it, and then I go kill them after the fact, I'm still going to prison. Oh no, Cowell, that wrong. That wrong, Cowell. Well, that's the law. That's it. Because if they let me be a vigilante, hell, they're gonna have to let the other man be a vigilante, the other woman be a vigilante. We ain't gonna have, we just gonna have chaos around this bitch. So we had to let the police do their goddamn job. We have to let the police do their job. I'm not one of these motherfuckers that's against all law enforcement. And I have been beneath a police officer's knee. I have uttered the words, I can't breathe, before you ever fucking heard of George Floyd. That was me. That shit happened to me in 2007. And still, I understand the need for good policing, for just policing. Because them police officers that I went to that day, they did their job. My beloved student, Victoria Kelly, is a police officer in my hometown. I'm proud of her. And I pray that she's a just police officer. But we gotta let them do their goddamn job if we feel like somebody wronged us. We gotta let these courts do their goddamn job. Okay? And again, you're gonna say, well, first you preacher. I'm telling y'all what I had to tell myself. Because somebody steal from me, somebody stole my wife's picture off of Facebook, created some bullshit page, was stealing our statement tees pictures. My wife, when she makes a shirt, she posts all that shit on our statement tees page on Facebook. Them motherfucker was stealing all that shit and they putting it on their shit like they were statement tees. When my wife told me that shit, my first thought was find out who did it and kill them. That was my initial thought. I can't do that though. I can't do that. A motherfucker from back in the day, when I was still putting out physical mixtapes, some bitch from New York named the Mixtape Don had us send him a money order for he was supposed to be pressing up some CDs for us. Still to this day, I want to kill that motherfucker, whoever he is, for scamming me. I cannot do that. And we must teach these kids that you have those feelings, and that's understandable, but you must suppress that shit. You cannot go out here and just be violent like that. Your ass ain't got U.S. military across your chest. You can't do it. If you want to be able to go and be vengeful on behalf of the U.S. government, go do that. You're going to get paid handsomely. Motherfuckers going to clap for you and shit. They going to say thank you for your service and all that kind of shit. But just here, you cannot do that. And we have to teach these youngins that. And be straight up with them about it. Because when they get mad, they're going to need to have these thoughts to rely on to keep them from going and acting on shit. And the last piece of this, some may be surprised that I'm going to say this, but fuck it. I don't give a damn. I've been open about this. We need more gun regulation in this bitch. And I say that as a proud gun owner. I say that as somebody who supports the Second Amendment. I say that as somebody who has a 9mm, a 45, AR-15, a shotgun. I got all these shits. A rifle. Like I said, a wife got 380. She don't use that shit, but she got it. I bought it for her. She had that bitch with her. I say that, and still, I have that. Let me say, I have all of that, and I still say we need more gun regulation. Shouldn't have all these fucking loopholes with all these people with mental history, a history of mental problems getting these motherfucking straps, a history of violence getting these straps through all these fucking loopholes and shit. I don't support any motherfucker trying to take my AR from me. I don't. Now you want to say, well, why you need that? Let's say it might be multiple motherfuckers trying to come up in my house. I need to have something that got a number of rounds in that bitch. I ain't no marksman. They say even the police be inaccurate mostly. So shit, I need something with like 30 up in it. I think about Vernon Damer, the civil rights icon, how the Klan came to his house and he had to try to defend his family. I always think about that kind of shit. The kind of shit I be talking, the kind of shit I'm trying to do in the climate we're in right now. No. Don't try to take my AR from me. But it should be hard to get these motherfuckers. Or harder to get these motherfuckers. It should. I'm a law-abiding citizen. But you got motherfuckers out here who clearly don't need none of this shit getting them. And we got to have better security. I got into the game. Last Jack State homecoming game versus Alabama State homecoming. Homecoming. I ain't go through no metal detector. The motherfucker checked my ticket and let me and my brother go straight on through there. Now, I left my pistol in the car because I'm anticipating the metal detector. They ain't do none of that shit. As part of the reason that damn count was off for the game. Because motherfuckers wasn't doing their job, obviously. Because they ain't check us. We gotta have better security. I'm hearing shit about motherfuckers being asleep on campus. They up in their little, security booth, and motherfuckers being up in there asleep. What we doing, Jack? Jack stayed in the middle of the hood. What we doing, dog? And I know those brothers or sisters probably underpaid. That's a problem. If you got a job like security where you're gonna be risking your life to secure other motherfuckers, they need to be paid well. Maybe we can attract some more motivated people, goddammit, if you give them a better salary. Because what are we doing? But we gotta have some gun regulation in this bitch. And who be voting against it? The Republican Party. All these motherfuckers out here be on Donald Trump nuts. But it's like Tupac said, shit, we in these hoods. We in these environments. The same shit that the suburban white folks scared of, the urban black person scared of. Shit. We scared of the same shit. So we need some better security. That costs money. And obviously, by all the fucking money that we are sending to Israel and Ukraine right now, god damn it, we got it. I don't want to hear that we ain't got it. This country got it. It's about what your priorities are. And so that brings us back to what I said last week. Get your ass up and go vote. If it's a local election, take your ass to vote. If it's a statewide election, take your ass to vote. If it's a national election, take your motherfucking ass to vote. If they say it's a ballot open and you can get there, go vote. Because we need all this shit. This shit's so complex. This ain't no easy fix. It ain't just stop the violence. That shit ain't working, dog. Motherfuckers been saying that shit my whole fucking life. Folks been doing these marches my whole fucking life. And yes, we do march when it's black on black shit. Miss me with that bullshit. My little hometown of Canton, I don't call it no fucking crack town, but some do. Okay. And that's because of the struggle in the motherfucking city, the dope that's been sold in the city, and the murders that's been going on in the city. Them motherfuckers have been candlelight vigils and shit. They didn't have the police come meet with this person, talk like that. We do all that shit. They've had this march and all that kind of shit. They had church specials. I've spoken at an event about fucking violence in our communities. We have that shit. But it takes more than that goddamn shit at that moment to fix this, man. It takes daily pouring into these fucking children at home and then at school and all that shit. You gotta have this real ass shit at that schoolhouse too. So that means you gotta have real motherfuckers in the schoolhouse that ain't scared of these kids, who willing to have these goddamn conversations with these kids. They can relate to these kids and push that message to these kids. That's another reason why I say pay teachers 100 grand. And yes, we got the money because we sending billions around the world to fund motherfucking wars. We got the money. Yes, I'm motherfucking mad. Cause this young King Jaylen Burns, bro, it just representative of so much shit. It keep happening, keep happening, keep happening, keep happening. Damn, man. And we keep saying the same shit. Can't keep doing the same shit. But I wanted to make sure I say that about the marching and all that kind of stuff. Because some people, some of my critics in the past, in 2020, when the shit happened with George Floyd, some people try to sit up here and say, well, y'all only care because it was a white cop and all that kind of stuff. And what about Chicago? That was their thing. These conservatives. What about Chicago? What about Chicago? Motherfucker, when a black person kills a black person, especially when the evidence is there or it's on tape or something like that, that black person gets fucking arrested. Just like in this situation. Young man's been arrested. If it was not a public outcry, if that person had not videotaped that murder of George Floyd, wouldn't nobody got arrested. The motherfuckers that was handing me in my back show didn't get arrested. Hell, I'm the one that got arrested. That's why motherfuckers be going crazy, because these folks be killing us with impunity. They be getting away with it. We be killing each other, and like I said at the beginning of this bitch, it be one incident with at least 2 lives lost. One to the grave, and another or several to the penitentiary. So let's use this young king's passing as a rallying cry to do what's necessary to reduce the violence in our communities. Let's instill respect and morals in our children. And we got to start early. Early. How early you talking about first? High school? Fuck that. Start in kindergarten. Start when they in the womb. Fuck that shit. Start when they in the womb. That's when I started reading to my children. I tell my youngest, read to them, and they can hear you. They can hear you. Start working on them there. Because see, by the time they reach high school, that shit often too late. I taught high school. And it's very hard to repair a broken person. That shit's hard. That's hard. A lot of times they too far gone. I got a list in my phone right here of my students who've been jailed. And it's just the ones I know of now. I got 23 people on this list. I only taught as a teacher, not my business as a consultant. I'm talking about just as a classroom teacher and coach. I taught for 10 years. And everybody on this list, I taught them in high school. So my high school years were only 8 years. 23 people. And 8 of them went to jail for shooting related charges. Or were at least arrested for shooting related charges. Within 8 years of me teaching in high school, that's how many? Yeah. And it's probably longer than this. They're too far gone by that time, y'all. As much as I tried, and I loved my students, I still love my students. They too far gone, man. Them motherfuckers, some of them were bigger and taller than me by that time. Some of them were fucking more than me at that time. Some of them out there drinking more than me. Some of them, I ain't never smoked weed before in my life. Some of these motherfuckers came to school high. I ain't never sold dope. Some of these motherfuckers selling dope at the school. They too far gone by then. All I can do is try to repair a broken person. You got to start early. And if you're choosing to lay down and make one, it's your responsibility to not only provide food, clothing, and shelter to them. It's your responsibility to provide them with morals, respect for themselves, respect for others, and conflict resolution strategies. So let's use this, y'all. I said something similar when uh that young queen killed herself in the recent past. You know, the young queen, if you know you keep up with the Jackson metro area, young queen left Murray High School and jumped off the bridge. And so many people had an opinion on it. And I called for Operation OG. I was like, hey, okay, you got plenty of kids in these schools that feel like that young sister. How about you use her death as inspiration to say, I'm gonna go into a school or I'm gonna get somebody from my community. I'm gonna get somebody from my church. I'm gonna get somebody from the park that I go to. I'm a mentor somebody and try to pour into them. I'm gonna be an OG. Well, y'all, these youngins need some real OGs right now. So long live the young king, Jaylen Burns. God bless his loved ones. God bless all them kids up there at that school who might be going through something in terms of dealing with this tragedy. God bless any of his teachers. And God bless those young men who perpetrated this crime, who going to deal with this shit the rest of their lives. And God bless their families as well. Put it on something.
Please subscribe to my daddy's YouTube channel because the more subscribers he gets, the more attractive he looks to sponsors. The more attractive he looks to sponsors, the more money he can make. And the more money he can make, the more money he can spend on me.